Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome back to the Whole Soul podcast. The last week, I've really been sitting with this, and it feels like this has been a theme that has been coming up in my life quite often, where I sit with myself a lot of, well, what am I doing with this podcast? How am I actually serving people? And how can I bring the wisdom of the experiences of my life forward and out into the world to help others through their own journey of awakening, of health, of stepping into their power, of moving through mental health issues that may leave you feeling so discouraged, like you can't move forward with your life. And yeah, I've been sitting with that question a lot. And I've been wanting to speak more about it, which is why I'm creating this channel right now on YouTube. I created a separate channel, if you're listening on Spotify, for The Whole Soul, separate from my personal account, because I felt that my personal creation started to get diluted and mixed in with the episodes of The Whole Soul. So this channel is going to be specifically for podcast episodes and just diving deep into the psyche, and I guess through the processes that I'm going through in life, because I've been sitting with this a lot of, well, what even is my path? And I was talking to my brother last night, and he was like, dude, you are on the heroine's journey or the hero's journey. And that comes with a lot of ups and downs, deaths and rebirths. It's not necessarily a very stable journey at first, because you're letting go of so much. You're letting go of old programs, old belief systems, old ways of being, people in your life that are not serving any purpose in your life anymore. Maybe you're feeling like your relationships have become stagnant. So you're letting go of what is no longer in alignment on your path right now. And that can be a very scary thing. And honestly, I've been feeling very resistant to record podcast episodes the last 2 weeks because, yeah, I've been going through a big process myself, and it's brought up a lot of imposter syndrome, self-doubt, limiting beliefs of, well, what value do I even have to bring to the world? And just feeling almost swallowed by shadows and darkness. And when I say shadows, I mean just the shadows of my own psyche that I believe are all coming up to the surface right now for me to see, for me to face head on and feel, not attaching to it, but to transform that into light. Because when you're in the darkness, it's really easy to become a victim to it, become almost like, why is this happening to me? My life is falling apart. And I don't know, maybe you come to these existential questions of questioning why you're here, questioning your purpose, questioning the value that you have to bring to the world, because everything is rising to the surface. Nothing's really settled. You feel a lot of uncertainty. But I want to offer you a mindset shift that I've also been solidifying within myself as I'm going through these dark depths of my psyche, and almost as just complete breakdown in a lot of ways within my own life of things that just aren't working anymore. And my ego is trying to grasp so damn hard onto these things to not let go, because I'm afraid of the unknown. I'm afraid of letting go, because the ego claims and clings to this identity that you have right now. And anything that gets in the way of threatening that is a threat. And of course, your ego's role is to keep you safe, is to keep you comfortable, but you know your soul is bringing you forward. So if you resonate with any of this right now, just know that this is actually presenting you an opportunity to transform into a more aligned version of self. Because I believe we all come onto this planet, onto this earth. We choose the exact vessel, the exact family, the exact circumstances to be faced with certain challenges so that our soul can grow through those challenges. Because you might have had karma from past lives, let's say, where, I don't know, you're paying off karmic debt in this life, or you have the opportunity to transform some sort of limiting beliefs or soul baggage that you have to essentially ascend and become lighter. So I think we're all going through this process in some way, whether you accept that or not, whether you admit that to yourself or not. And it's just a beautiful opportunity for you to step into greater alignment with the truth of who you are, to step into the deepest purity and expression and authenticity of your soul. I was actually in a really big breakdown yesterday. And honestly, let me tell you, this year has been quite difficult for me. Like, it's been so beautiful in so many ways, and a past version of self would be so blessed, so ecstatic to see the life that I'm living and where I am right now. But from this current version of self, from this current level of consciousness that I'm in, it's been challenging. It's been rough. There's been so much instability of, I guess, places where I am, because I've been traveling so much. I haven't really had a home base. And the home base that I'm in right now, we're actually selling because it's just no longer a place that is serving me and my partner, and we're being called to move and plant roots somewhere else. So it's been a challenging year. It feels like a lot has been illuminating to me to fall away, things that I'm doing that are just no longer in alignment with who I know that I'm stepping into. All right, I had to pause because our cat just got super traumatized by sound, or she got chased by a dog a few weeks ago. So she caused a bit of a ruckus, but I'll try to pick up where I left off. I think I was saying that last night I had a call with my brother because I felt like I was losing my mind. And I hit a point of breakdown because, as I was saying, this year has been really challenging. And just throughout the whole year, there has been a lot that has been resurfacing, like a lot of shadow work for me to face head on. But this last week, it's felt extra challenging, extra shadowy, extra self-doubt. And yeah, I just felt like I needed to be held by some of the people that know me the best, from literally seeing me and knowing me from the day I was born, seeing me grow up. And I'm literally getting emotional as I'm saying this because they saw me through every phase, through every stage, through my purest light as a child, to all the challenges and darkness and hell and back moments that I've been through in this life. And something he told me when I was saying that I was questioning my value and not knowing what my value in this world is, crying about it because just I was in such a vulnerable state, and that's truly what I was feeling. And I felt like I needed that to be heard and received by him and my other brother that was in the call at the time. But something that he responded to me, he was just receiving me and feeling that with me, is that your value isn't the things that you do or the money that you make. It's really about your essence. It's about your authentic light and truth that you bring to this world. Like, your authenticity is your value. It's how do you make people feel when they walk into the room, into your presence. And that is the value that you bring to this world. And it's interesting because I know that. And I was trying to remind myself as I was moving through this darkness, through this really big shadow, where I was feeling like I was literally crumbling to the ground, wanting to decompose and be back to life. And it's in those moments of darkness where it's the most challenging to remember that and to also convince yourself and bring yourself back into your body. Because when you are out of your mind, losing your mind, spiraling in some way, going through a mental health crisis, it's hard to bring yourself back into your body. You almost don't want to because you're so far gone and you just feel like you need help and you don't know what to do with yourself. But my brother guided me through a beautiful somatic meditation and grounding practice. He actually offered it to me and I was so resistant, but I knew I had to do it because I knew it was good for me. And it brought me back into presence, which had me realize how deeply out of presence I had been because I had been so in the mind, so in the logic, so in, conceptualizing everything, trying to create this linear plan of how to go about life because I'm at this low right now. But coming back into the present, tuning back into my senses, my inner world, but the sounds that were all around me, and just listening to my brother's voice really brought this softness back into me that I guess allowed me to take a step back from the chaos of the mind, whether it was a psychic attack or just my own limiting beliefs spiraling. It brought me back and I sat with myself for a while after the call. Outside, it's like 10 p.m. And I was just holding myself. And I had this perspective shift that, well, yes, this moment in time is difficult where it feels like everything that you know is crumbling to the ground, or you're living this version of self, this version of life, doing these things that you literally feel like you will lose your mind over if you keep doing it because you are being called to change. Like your soul literally just can't do it anymore. I was starting to see that all of these feelings and emotions and almost just entering this numb state of being to what I'm doing is actually an invitation and an initiation for me to step up, move past my fears, because the fears have been so loud, almost paralyzing me from showing up in the ways that I want to show up, from stepping into this life and this version of self that I want to blossom and grow. That it's an opportunity for me to give myself the permission to let go and break down and not see breakdown as something negative or life ending, because anytime you go through a breakdown or a death, it's actually an invitation to life, to rebirth, to create yourself and reform yourself anew, which is such a beautiful thing. And I was brought back to a time in my life where I had one of the first dark nights of the soul when I was in college, and I was going through it. I was having life-ending thoughts. I was so stuck in loops of depression and anxiety, physical illness, and I had to let go because I had no choice, because my health got to a point where I literally had to change my environment. I had to change everything that I was doing, and that was horrifying for my 19-year-old version of self that literally had no idea what the future holds. But that was actually one of the most transformational moments of my life, because it formed me into who I've become today, to put me on such a deeper and greater path of alignment that I'm on today, even sharing this podcast with you guys, opening my heart so much. My heart has just blossomed and bloomed in ways that I never thought it would, calling in my dream partner, my life partner, traveling the world, really giving myself the space and the opportunity and the freedom to create a life that I've always wanted, a life that I love. So for the first time in a long time, I was kind of transported back to that time and seeing the gift in the breakdown, the gift in the death of a life that I was once living, the death of a version of myself that I was holding on to for dear life because I was so afraid of the future. And I saw the parallel of how that's happening now. And it's interesting because I love this life that I'm living. It's so beautiful. Everything is great on the surface, but it's something within me that is waking up and wanting to be brought forth into the world where I'm feeling uncomfortable. I'm feeling like I can't keep doing this. And I know things are shifting. I know I'm in a huge transition, but still, it's this fear of the ego latching, holding on for dear life because of fear of what's on the other side. And of course, from my wise self, my wise sage within, my higher self within, I know that what's on the other side of this breakdown, this crumbling of whatever identities that I'm holding on to that are no longer serving me is such a beautiful bloom and rebirth into a version of self that is so much more happy, joyful, in purpose, confident, not experiencing self-doubt to this crippling degree that current version of Claudia experiences. And I think it's really vulnerable talking about this stuff, but I think it's so important because I know that so many people are going through that right now, experiencing self-doubt, maybe a lack of purpose, imposter syndrome, wanting to step in and create a life that they love, but literally having so much fear, so many subconscious beliefs that, are holding you back from doing that. And I think my purpose in sharing this episode today is to just share my journey and openly communicate what I'm going through, my inner world, what's going on within my psyche, because the only way forward is through this and alchemizing and transforming whatever shadows are within you. And I'm not going to stop this journey because I know that if I stay stagnant, life is just not worth living for me, and I will become depressed, anxious, unfulfilled, and fall into old patterns that leave me in a loop of suffering. So I think that's why I'm able to show up so vulnerably, because it's almost like a dedication to myself, to my path and my journey, and also being a light, or what's it called? A guiding light or a lighthouse for you to know that you're not alone, to give you the empowerment and plant the seeds within you to know that you can do it too. Because there's so many people that are going through it right now. There's so many people that have transformed through these loops and are living very fulfilling dream lives that they've always wanted and desired from a place of their heart and their soul. So I love you so much. If you resonate with this, if you are going through it, know that breakdowns are not a curse, that you're actually meant to be going through everything that you're going through right now because it's guiding you to see clearer within yourself what is asking to be reborn or shifted or transformed. I hope that this message, that this transmission allows you to see any cycles of death as a literal, inevitable opportunity for rebirth and forging yourself anew. Seriously, thank you for being here with me and showing up for yourself. Carry this light, these seeds of life that have been planted within you today, and carry it, spread it, create a ripple effect in your life. If you're on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. I will be uploading all of my podcast episodes here. And if you are on Spotify, please make sure to leave a review. It helps bring this podcast out to more beautiful souls that need it. I love you, and I will see you in the next episode.